Hey guys, welcome to Braddels Gaming and to another episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series. In this series, I play other people's maps on the Far Cry 5 arcade, but before we get into today's community creations episode, I first off wanted to start the video with an announcement. So some of you guys may have been expecting this video to be Biomes gameplay. Biomes is my latest multiplayer map in the Far Cry 5 arcade, and if you haven't seen the map breakdown, I definitely recommend you guys go and watch that now. I'll put an icon on the screen right now that'll direct you to that video. But basically, I am delaying the gameplay for that particular map one more week. I should have it out by this weekend. Basically, the reason for that is that I also wanted to make a deathmatch version of Biomes. So Biomes in its original state was a team deathmatch map, but I decided to also make it deathmatch just to give it a little bit more of some replayability, but also a little bit more variety for the player as to what they want to play, whether it's a deathmatch or a team deathmatch, they have that option. But now I will get into today's map for the community creations episode that we have here today. This is The Bridge by Swedish 591. And one thing I'll say right off the bat is that Swedish 591 has done an incredible job on the environment. He's really encapsulated a zombies apocalypse in a city setting. As you guys can see, it's set on a very busy interstate bridge, and it's very chaotic, as you guys can see from the action that is right there on the screen. As I did in the last community creations video, I'm going to be playing with a close friend of mine on the Xbox and on Far Cry, Ghost Chicken. He's going to be helping me complete this map today. But as always, what I do in these community creations episodes is I like to provide some feedback for the creator, basically the pros and cons of the map, and hopefully give them a boost in people seeing this video and going to go and play the map. Nonetheless, I think this map is really cool. I've really enjoyed playing it, and I played it a few times just to sort of fine-tune my feedback so it could become as effective as possible for Swedish 591. Now, like I said earlier, I really love the environment on this map. Swedish Wolf has done a great job at really encapsulating this post-apocalyptic zombies inner city experience. There's a lot of obstacles that you sort of have to traverse on this map, and there's a lot of zombies that you have to kill also. So it really is chaotic, the fact that you have to sort of maneuver around all these cars and buses and trucks. But on top of that, even if you try to go on top of one of the buses, you're not really safe because the zombies in Far Cry can climb on objects the same way humans can. So you're going to be screwed no matter where you go, unfortunately. But that's a good thing. At least with the chaos of this map, you do need that sort of element to it, just to add to the backstory, I suppose. Another cool element I think Swedish Wolf has really nailed here is the lighting. Obviously he's got a very red environment, and I guess that sort of symbolizes that the city is in panic. There's fires going everywhere, everyone's trying to stop the spread of the disease, and so you see a lot of buildings off in the distance are on fire. You see a lot of the cars themselves are lit on fire, and then you also have these hotheads that like to sort of ruin your day with spreading fire, so that even if you do manage to shoot them, they'll keep chasing after you with the fire. And I actually can't remember if there's a modifier in here that there is no fire damage. I don't think there is, but again, that all adds to the chaos of the map. In fact, there actually might be a modifier that says no fire damage, just to give you a little bit more of relief. But I am guessing, from what I saw in the gameplay just then, a zombie on fire just passed me and I didn't take any damage. So let's hope that there is a modifier that does allow you to be protected from fire, because those hotheads can get very annoying very quickly. Another thing you'll notice on this map is the embers flying around or floating around. So basically there's this effect in the arcade. I think they're just called embers. I'm not actually specifically sure what they're called, but I'm pretty sure you do find them in the the effects setting, which you can find by scrolling all the way to the bottom of your category selector, and it should be in like effects, I think, and then you can select audio or visual. It should be in visual, and yeah, there are these really cool effects that allow you to add like sort of fire sparks to the map, and I thought they were a really cool feature. It just sort of adds another layer of detail and really encapsulates the post-apocalyptic environment really well. A lot of maps you will see people adding fire to them and smoke, but not really taking into attention the detail that Swedish Wolf has put on the map here with the embers flying around. It's something that I haven't even really experimented with, but I definitely think it would really help the atmosphere of your map. So props to Swedish Wolf for taking that initiative and sort of using that as a solution to add some more atmosphere to your map, and hopefully inspiring others to use that effect as well. So far for the pros, we have some really good positives for Swedish Wolf. The environment is awesome, the atmosphere is awesome, and the gameplay is pretty cool as well. But on that same note, I do have a recommendation for Swedish Wolf in terms of the gameplay, and it's that I think the gameplay can get a little bit too repetitive. By the time you've chewed through about 50 zombies, it does sort of get repetitive from there, so I would maybe suggest to Swedish Wolf to shorten the duration of the map, and to do this basically just reduce the number of zombies that are on this map. This map is pretty sizable, but it's still pretty small that you probably wouldn't expect there to be 120 zombies in this one small area in terms of if you're going off trying to create a almost realistic backstory for the map. So I definitely would recommend reducing the amount of zombies that there are on this map to maybe 50, 60 or 70 zombies. And then you can still add the 2 behemoths at the end. Basically there is a behemoth boss fight. And again, I really did like the natural progression that Swedish Wolf implemented there in terms of, you have to kill these zombies and then eventually you'll get to the boss fight, which is 2 behemoths. And even for my friend and myself, it was a challenging battle in itself, but it was still a very enjoyable and rewarding challenge once we were able to defeat the behemoths at the end of this gameplay. But yeah, again, I would suggest reducing the zombies count from 120 to 50, 60, 70 enemies, something along the lines of that number or those numbers in that sort of range. Because I was able to complete this map in solo, but again, it's not really so much about whether you can complete it or not. It's more so just the fact that the map does become a little bit too repetitive, I feel, after about the 50th zombie that you've killed. So yeah, definitely shorten the format. Another thing I would recommend is shortening the timer as well. So Swedish Wolf gives you 25 minutes to complete this map, and the timer feature in the arcade isn't really something I've seen being used by many people before, at least in solo maps. I've definitely seen them being used in multiplayer maps, obviously, because in multiplayer maps you have to have a timer so you can restrict how much that map is played. But with solo maps, I haven't really seen the countdown timer being used too much. And I think it's a really cool element to use the countdown timer, but I would recommend to reduce the number from 25 minutes down to another 5 minutes, so down to about 20 minutes. I think 20 minutes is going to give enough time even for someone who's playing by themselves to complete this map, but at the same time still give them that challenge that is going to keep them on their toes. I remember that when I first played this map, it took me 19 minutes to clear all the zombies off the entire map, and so I think that in solo 20 minutes would be the perfect time, because it would give you enough time to clear out all the zombies if that's what you were doing. But if you just mucked around for a little bit, any longer than a minute, then it would mean that you would fail the map, and I think that would be a really cool challenging element to add. In co-op, I think it took my friend and I about 13 minutes or something like that, or something along those lines, to complete the map together. Obviously you can't change the countdown depending on if your map is being played by 1 or 2 people, sadly, but either way I think 20 minutes would be a good number in trying to cater for both solo and co-op experiences. But otherwise, apart from those fine-tuning elements or recommendations that Swedish Wolf might want to come and take aboard, this has been a super fun map to play. My friend and I both really enjoyed playing through this map. And if you guys want to play a chaotic zombies map in the Far Cry 5 arcade and you're on the Xbox, sadly this is of course a map that is only on the Xbox, then be sure to check this map out. This is The Bridge by Swedish War 591. I'll leave the details of the map in the video description below. But otherwise, thank you guys very much for watching another episode of my Far Cry 5 community creation series. I'm Braddels Gaming, I'm signing out now, and remember to have yourselves a great day.